Hello and welcome back to Geek Feng Shui. I'm your host and game master, Bob Sellers Jr. And today we're going to take a look at what I said I wouldn't do, but I decided, I've seen enough of it. I thought I'd check it back out. So I bought a 60-day game card, as it were, and I'm going to go try out some World of Warcraft Hardcore Classic. But first, a short shout out to our friends at Chaotic Good Brewing here in Castle Manorville, South by Southeast up in Pine Island, and Under Pressure Brewing up in Golden Valley. If you're not blessed to be in our area, check out for venues in your area of similar family, pet, fun-friendly places. Not the tank dark sports bars. No, these places are designed to chillax, kick back, enjoy your beverage of choice, whether it's beer, soda, juice, milk, or even water, and partake if you'd like in games, board games, card games, coloring events, quilting events, other fun things, or like Dungeons and Dragons or Magic the Gathering. Or if you're here on Sundays, we have yoga and we don't judge if you drink before, during, or after. Check them out. Check out my books at sellersjr.com, my smoking at kiltedswinebbq.com, and my overall website, geekfengshui.com, as well as my 3 channels here on YouTube: Whiskey Zulu Niner, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, Kilted Swine BBQ, and of course this one, Geek Feng Shui. Please like, subscribe, and set the bell accordingly. So how does Blizzard handle hardcore? Well, if you purchase World of Warcraft, you have access to WoW Classic as well as the next version of Classic. In my humble opinion, and this is my opinion only, even as a fan of the Blizzard products, I would suggest that if you buy World of Warcraft, once you buy it, it should be free to play the classic game, simply because they are what they are. They're like the versions of Diablo 1 and 2 versus the full game, but we choose to make you pay a monthly stipend. Now there's 2 different hardcore servers versus the classic areas. Now you'll notice there's PvP servers. My experience with World of Warcraft started on a PvP server because I was naive, I was new. That's where my friends played. It was called Ravencrest. Now, what PvP versus normal is that means it's open world PvP, and you get ganking, which carries over from Diablo 2, where there are player killers called PKs. And if you really want to annoy someone, you call them a PK wannabe. It really gets under their skin. But in my case, on Ravencrest, it was a 90 to 95% Horde server. And of course, my friends played Alliance. So much like hardcore, I think the experience made a better player because not only did you have to worry about the environment, you had to worry about other factions. I learned to hate the Horde. I played Alliance for 7.5 years because at the time you couldn't play both sides on the same server. Much later they changed that so that we could play both sides, and it got interesting. I would play Battlegrounds and I go in with one character of a faction. If that faction was losing, I switch over to another one so I get credit on one of my characters. It annoyed people, but it's like, that's the fun of the game. So now with the hardcore of Classic, it doesn't limit you in that fashion. You can create Alliance or Horde on the same server. There's only 2 servers. For this instance of my experience, I'm going to play 3 characters. Gesundheit was a priest when I played the regular WoW, but I'm coming back as a rogue because that's the first type of character I played coming out of Diablo. A lot of people were saying, oh, you're not going to do well with the rogue. Well, I proved them wrong, and I'll have fun doing it again. I'm having a shaman and a priest only to show the healing aspects. Now, most times you won't do healing unless you're part of a raid, which I may or may not get into, who knows. But I figure for 60 days I'll go through and show you what it's like to play the classic version. And why I'm doing Horde is I never really played them in the original version of WoW. I played Alliance, and by the time I played Horde, it was much later in the various expansions that came out, and so I didn't really get to experience the starting point. So we'll start with Gesundheit, and we will go in, and we will These are the 3 characters I have my books up there. Sorry about that. Check them out, salvagegenerator.com. But go in here.
The vicious trolls that populate the numerous jungle isles of the South Seas are renowned for their cruelty and barbarous and superstitious. They carry a seething hatred for all other races. Long since exiled from his ancestral homeland in Stranglethorn Vale, the Darkspear tribe was nearly destroyed by rampaging murlocs. Rescued by the young war chief Thrall and his orcish warriors, the Darkspear tribe swore allegiance to the Horde. Led by the cunning shadow hunter Vol'jin, the Darkspears now make their home in Durotar, along with their orcish allies. As one of the only surviving Darkspears, it falls to you to reclaim the glory of your tribe.
Now when you come in, there is an option to do controllers. I played a little bit with it, did not like it, and it could be because I was so used to playing as a keyboard jockey. You can remap a lot of what you can do. One example is the mouse bar. At the time we would do, instead of having it be zoom, we'd have it be the minus equal for attacks when you got to higher levels. I'm going to leave it alone for the moment and just play it out of the box, so to speak. The one thing I am going to do is turn on all the action bars. So you have different options, like for example, the food and the Hearthstone. Hearthstone is set at each inn. You pick one. There's a time to it. Your attacks initially are set up. Go into skills. You see what combat skills you have, what ranks there are. Initially you have this guy that gives a quest, or you can go in the cave.
Brawlhall for the Horde.
Now you'll notice the first thing you'll see is a different trainer. So when you level up, you have to go to your trainers. So for here, you have the hunter and the warrior. And over here, you have the mage, shaman, and priest. You say, wait a minute, you're a rogue. Well, that's because they hide the rogue.
Blood and thunder. Dabu. Go with honor. Strength.
The rogue trainers are way back here. They try to keep the rogues as a secretive group.
Strength and honor.
I can add, I don't have anything to do because I need 10 opera.
For the Horde.
It's not free to train. What stealth is, you can sneak around, which is kind of a rogue fun thing to do. This game, you know, it could be I'm just so used to it. You're better off being a keyboard jockey than the controller, and that's one of the pratfalls I've run into with friends who have tried to play Diablo. If any of the levels are not used to I don't know if there's an auto root bar. I think there is. So the first thing you have to do is kill Marnobolar.
energy.
So there you see you have the throw option.
Enough energy. I do not have enough energy.
Now what you can do in here is you pick up stuff. Now for example, I'm going to move the bag around. I only have one bag at the moment. I do not have a belt or a cape, but as you find stuff you can replace it, and it helps your armor class.
Not ready yet. Ready yet. Not enough energy.
You can see you have energy.
I need a target.
So you get food, so you don't have to buy food.
I do not have enough energy. I do not have a target.
So here, I don't have any bracelets, but now I do. So you build up your equipment.
I cannot do that yet.
The thing about the game time, to give an example why I think Blizzard could do this better, is by buying the game time, it gives me access to my old characters, which if you install the WoW, the full WoW client, I can go back and look at them and see how they've been squished. It used to be like they were up in the triple digits level-wise. Well, now they are squished, as it were, with new armor and stuff. So I will not go back and play them because I wouldn't remember how to do much of what I had set up for them. Or do I have any interest? The game today
I cannot do that yet.
is not what it was. That's what draws in. Now there's another classic that they have, I don't know if it's Wrath of the Lich King or whichever the one next up. That does not appear to have a hardcore mode, only WoW Classic. Which again leads me to say, well, okay, you want people to get into playing, make it so that if you buy the client you can play
Not enough energy.
WoW Classic, or make WoW Classic free to play, and then if you want to buy the game, make them a separate game.
Ability is not ready yet.
But right now they don't have a way to differentiate between them, which is unfortunate. There's a lot of people apparently playing WoW Classic. It's a good sign, but I think they'd make a lot more money selling it as a separate product. Right now they have them all interlinked, obviously. Oh, another thing, if you really want to piss somebody off, is you can go attack or aggro one of these and then let it follow you around. They can attack and they won't get credit for it. So, with my gray gloves, I notice the mail I can't wear.
Not enough
And
energy.
theoretically, you could have the same issue that you have in Diablo if you get disconnected.
I do not have the
Because
target.
with hardcore, the only real... Now, you notice how the shields, right? Rogues don't use shields. They wear leather or cloth. So we'll go back and turn in quest. You have choices of different races. I should go back and show you that one. Come on, I will. Initially, I think there was just the 5. Later on, they had blood elves and whatnot, but in the classic, it was. And my understanding from the original was that.
And honor.
Now you can look at it to see battle worn. I'm gonna go with the gloves.
For the Horde, go forth to victory. For the Horde.
There was shamans for the Horde and priests for the Alliance, but they allow both here. Back to the rogue trainer.
Zug zug. Strength. Victory.
Now I don't have any, or do I have? No, I don't have any copper yet. So what I'll do is I'll go out to the vendors and sell my stuff.
Mokra. Strength.
Your vendors over here. And it's been said by others, and it's my
May your
opinion,
blades never
the
dull.
worst thing they ever did was
Strength and
bring
honor.
in flying mounts. Because that allowed people to travel places they normally couldn't. So you have throwing things that you can run out of. Right now I have axes. They're all 1 to 3. And you could go with arrows if you were using a bow. You can see the speeds are the same. So I'll do here. Let's get that.
May your blades never dull.
You can get bags eventually to expand your inventory when you get into town. And you can see this person here is a member of a guild, Speed Dealers. If you're not a guild, in a guild, you don't have to be. You can see all these backstabs that require quite a bit more.
Taboo.
Pickpocket is you can sneak up. So now, for the sake of argument, what I like to do is I've applied, and it apparently stuck because it must be a character-wide thing, is I put the exclamation point, or the over on top of the tab key, the little hyphen, as my key here, so that I can put my stealth, oops, so now on a push of a button, how higher level characters can see you. And I, back on the PvP server, invariably you'd have some fool try to sneak up on you when you're like level 100, and they're like level 60, and I can see them coming, and I just pretend I don't and look around. They don't realize it until they're right up on top of me, and I swing around and smack them down. It was quite entertaining. More so for me than to them, but what can I say? And you see there's a timer. You can't do it back to back. There's a 10-second cooldown. So let's go see what our log is here. Cactus apples, sting of scorpions, and vile familiars. You don't necessarily know where these are, having played this. You'll notice as you go along that the horde areas are a little bit more red in color, hence the red for horde, while the alliance is more of a bluish color. That's just kind of a underlying point to say, hey,
I cannot do that yet. I do not have enough energy. Not enough energy. I need a target.
and there is our first quest thing there. So we'll have a little bit better pants now.
I do not have enough energy. I do not have a target.
Now, theoretically, we have a blade. I don't know if I can go back to the vendor. I'll look. You can dual wield as a rogue. I don't know.
Not enough energy. I do not have enough energy. Target.
You don't always get the... Now the vile familiars, they tend to be red if they're...
Ready yet? I cannot do that yet. Not enough energy. I do not have enough energy.
You'll get people that will invite you to guilds. I'm going to avoid guilds for the moment. Be a lone wolf. It's just, it gets to be a little bit too many too soon type of deal for me on that. Now you notice the life thing regenerates.
Not enough energy. Not ready yet. I do not have enough energy.
So you just have to slay them. You don't have to get anything from them. So if you hit your Hearthstone, you can see it takes a little while for it to go. So if you're in combat and you get interrupted, you're screwed. This brings you back to town. Let's go take a look at vendors. We'll come back and play some more, but I want to just do a quick introduction. Now the Butcher, not to be confused with Diablo 4, which may have been a take on it.
victory.
General goods will have different things, like right now we don't have any
Be
weapons.
safe.
I don't know if there's other vendors. Here, I think you have to go to the next village over, which we'll go to. And that is about it. So you log out. So twice I can log out unless you're in an inn, and you'll have rest experience. With rest experience, you get a buff on your various experiences when you're going along, pun not intended. I'll just give you a quick tour of the different races that you have. Now you notice I've created Yersinia and Gizendetta. They were just character name holdovers. So when you create characters, you can see here on Horde you have 4, on Alliance you have 4. Not every class can do the same, not every race can do the same class. So example, Tauren can't be mages, but they can be druids. And all the other ones, I think Taurens are the only ones that are druids. They can't be necromancers. Necromancers are limited to the undead and the orcs. So anyway, I'm going to do a shaman and a priest as adventures go, simply to show the difference in the healing and the fighting. Now you can respec a character. But that is the beginning of World of Warcraft Classic. Hardcore. Again, the only difference between regular Classic and Hardcore is a selection of servers. Hardcore normal, they may eventually have Hardcore PvP, I don't know. I was playing around with creating other characters on other servers, because they do reserve the names, so I think I might as well get Gesundheit. Triv was already taken, which I don't know if it's the same Triv. You got to remember, the Triv I've had issues with is not necessarily the Triv that you may know. It's a popular name from science fiction somewhere. I forget, I looked it up one time. Anyway, check out our friends at Kieta Good Brewing here in Casson Matterville. Under Pressure up in Golden Valley or South by Southeastern Pine Island, or venues of similar family, pet, fun-friendly, chillaxing, event-filled environments to have fun, not suffer date dark sports bars by any means. Check out my books at sellersjr.com, my smoking at kilterswinebbq.com, or my overall website at geekfengshui.com, or my channels here, Whiskey Zulu Niner, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, kilterswinebbq.com, or did I ever say that? Geek Feng Shui. My channels are Whiskey Zulu Niner, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, Kilted Swine BBQ, and Geek Feng Shui, which I hope you like and subscribe. It does help the channel as I play different games to show off different options for you to consider. Have a great day.